re-describe what you did during the festival, what you played, and a little bit about what you did play?
Well, I played a program with music by and from friends of Alphonse Mustel.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay.
And there were two melodrams. That means there is a spoken text to music for orchestra.
Right.
And the second one, the large one, the Pays Breton, has in addition pictures.
Of course,
sort of
I remember
a slide
that.
picture show. Those pictures were painted by Eugène Frey, must have been a friend of Alphonse Mustel's, and it's the same man who painted a very, very large picture which was used for advertisements for the house Mustel. The poet as well must have been a friend of Alphonse's. That was René Delbost, who has written the text for Au Pays Breton after a novel that had been very famous at that time, but unfortunately I have forgotten the name.
Yeah, I know.
That's
okay.
Les Pêcheurs d'Islande is the title. And the other text, Ballade Fantastique, is a very absurd text written by Eren Dobselt. And if you look at the letters, you can exchange the letters, and the result will be René Delbost as well.
I see.
Between these two pieces, we played 3 songs by friends of Alphonse Mustel, by Léo Pouget et Jules Mouquet, et un troisième, Monsieur Théophile Sourila, ou Sourilas. And that I played in Mustel Orchestra, which had been built at the very end of 1899, finished very early in 1900, and that instrument was the instrument that Alphonse Mustel played during his concert tour in Berlin and Leipzig early in 1900.
Well, that's fabulous. Do you suppose you're the first person to play those, to perform those pieces, or certainly in recent years?
In recent years, yes. I did it for the first time, I think, in 1996, something like that. But before it certainly hadn't been played for decades. Alphonse Mustel played it several times, that's for sure. But later, I think it had been almost forgotten.
Well, it seems to me there's a wealth of materials that comes from that particular group or from Mustel himself that people don't know about. A lot of musical literature. I'm talking about songs, maybe solos. I don't know. Is that true?
There's a lot of music written by Alphonse Mustel, written by others, and all this stuff, all these scores are in Paris still available, still present in the archives of the Mustel house. And I did a sort of first cataloging them in the 90s. Now it's scientifically catalogued by Jacques Prévost, which will be much better.
Well, let me just ask you, these were manuscripts, they were never published at any time?
That was published. Everything was published. Mustel was a publisher as well. Published hundreds of
so why,
especially harmoniums.
Why, I mean, can you get them in libraries, or is it just very rare stuff?
Well, there must be everything in Paris in the National Library, because they had to deliver one. Otherwise, it's very rare. But there are many, more than one example per score in the Mustel archives still.
Oh, well, that's great. So do you think there might be any plan to publish them, or
I think Jacques Prévost is planning that, yes.
Right.
But I don't know how far he will go.
Yeah, right.
There was one piece only in manuscript, Quatuor by Jules Mouquet for Orgue Mustel and String Trio. And that was performed here as well, for the first time since decades too. That was great music. I found that in Paris too, and gave it to the performers for this concert.
So, I noticed you have this instrument here that everybody is raving about, and can you tell me some more about it and why it's so wonderful?
Well, that's a long story. That's an harmonium built by Johannes Titz in Löwenberg. That's in Poland now. At that time, it was Germany. And the story is rather complicated. Carl Simon in Berlin was the first agent for Mustel and sold exclusively his Mustel instruments from about 1900 on.
Right.
These instruments were extremely good, Mustel's instruments, and extremely expensive too.
Right.
And I guess that in those chauvinistic times, Simon would have had problems to sell very expensive French instruments to Germans.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
and
totally.
By coincidence, this piano builder, Johannes Titz, had to repair a Mustel that was on the way from Berlin to Breslau.
Okay.
And he was fascinated. And then he got the task from Carl Simon to invent the German harmonium.
Right.
And in order to make that a little bit more easy, Simon gave Titz a Mustel for a whole year in order to copy it.
Yeah.
And Titz copied it almost identically, even the case. That's Mustel style. There's a little difference here and here.
Right.
Otherwise, it's even the case is copied, and the quality Titz achieved was great, absolutely great.
Do you think the tonal characteristic of this instrument is different from Mustel?
You can't. It's difficult to tell because each Mustel is a little different as well.
Right.
The tonal characteristics, to my opinion, are similar, but even a little more refined, I think.
Oh,
but
okay.
the reeds are the same. Titz could use until about 1914. He used the same reeds made by STF in Paris. Even the clandestines, which are not here now because I took them home already,
Sure.
are the same that they're made by Binet. The stop faces are made by Binet in Paris. Everything identical, but the reeds are the most important thing, and they are the same as in contemporary Mustels, but voiced in an extremely good way. And I firstly thought to bring Titz instrument number 6, which for technical reasons was not possible. I had to switch. This is number 13. They have been built 1907-8. Number 6, which I wanted to bring with me, was built 1905-6, and the very important composer for harmonium, the German composer Siegfried Karg-Elert, he owned number 5, the one before.
Oh wow!
It would have been nice to play his music, or the music to be played on number 6, but it's very similar to number 13.
Right. Well, I think we should stop this interview because I'm afraid it's going to stop irrespective of how we feel, but this is fascinating information. I know people will want to hear what you have to say about it. So I enjoyed the music that you played very much. It's all coming back now, and this multimedia approach, which is very interesting, that was part of the festival, was something that really added, I think. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And you'll see yourself soon.